folks. Oops, I made the overlay disappear. Like magic, bring it back. Now she's gone, now she's back. It's game number 3. The folks, they're playing on an Iron Fortress. This map has been so rarely visited. We'll talk more about the map styles in a second because it looks like Night End's looking for blood. So spawning in the bottom left corner of the map, it's going to be Acer's Nerchio.
The top right, as the Blue Protoss, it is Neurosoft's Night End.
Now, Night End, I think everybody, Nerchio especially, was surprised he brought it back in that game. I didn't think it was going to happen. He was bleeding out economy over and over and over again. Perhaps Nerchio got too dedicated. Perhaps it got a little too awkward. I don't know. But the thing is, Night End won. And at the end of the day, that's all that matters. And with a 4-jump and 2 probe scouting, he's looking to pay him back with some cannons.
I just don't know if it's going to work. Nerchio went for a 15 pull both games, and he does it again.
Yeah, there's the small chance that maybe Nerchio doesn't see this, because the overlords get a little out of the base, get a little, I guess, unseen. I'm trying to think of a way to phrase that.
It's possible, but I mean, even the Protoss players also got to make a decision here too. You know, like he sees that it's a 15 pull, he could try and just go hard with a cannon rush, or he could just say, "Well, I'm gonna get a cannon back at home, and it's not like a Forge First wastes my economy. You know, at least it'll protect me from the potential lings Nerchio's gonna get. So, let me just get a Nexus." And as Night End is close to 400 minerals, I think that's what he's gonna do.
Yeah. Had he got over here and just blindly done it, this would have been really risky, and I didn't think it was a question like, do you risk your whole qualifier? Do you have essentially wasted your day because you chose to get a little bit greedy with the cannons?
Yeah.
Although he still might, is he gonna triple pylon, or what's he doing patrolling on the ramp?
I think he's just waiting to see how many
no.
lings are coming out to know if he desperately needs to wall off the natural.
Oh yeah, that'd be good. Nerchio has, sorry. Guys, if you don't know, when I get the hiccups, they hurt. I don't know what it is. But, the lings coming across the map. He didn't scout the top. He's going to see that he's not in the bottom right, and it's kind of like a 50-50 where you send your lings anyways, but there's no way he's really getting in here to cause any damage with the cannon already complete. Now, as far as this goes, I mean, as we see, very extended thirds, really extended fourths, but cross spawns is probably the best case scenario for these guys as far as a macro game possibly goes, because of course with these bases being as close as they are, there's a lot of ways you could like just hold position of Colossus here and hit the mineral lines, or walk around the backside with these cooling towers. There's just about 4 or 5 entrances to the base. It's pretty ridiculous. Really hard to just wall off and play safe.
He is going to try and cannon rush the third, but an Overlord spots it, so the ling's just going to come back. I don't think he's going to be able to do much here. Honest attempt, I guess. Or maybe it was to bring the lings back. I don't know. It was already walled off on the other side of the map, so I doubt that was it. But I guess you can try. You can always try. The thing about Iron Fortress, though, is that I gotta imagine Night End he was hoping Cannon Rush was gonna find Nerchio being surprisingly greedy, and then he wouldn't have to play into the mid game, much less the late game. But now that he is being forced to the mid game, at least, will he want to go to the late game? That third base can be very hard to take. There are a bunch of entries into it, no matter which base that you take, and it's kind of a big ramp too, so you can get somewhat of a concave break on the rocks. It's just not a good one.
Speaking of the late game, if you guys ever want to go to the late game, make sure to go over to Leica Group's channel every Wednesday, twitch.tv/LeicaGTV.
Oh my god.
I figure we do it enough with Remax, we might as well do the late game. But, okay, so for this game, it really didn't go the way Night End wanted to. Like, he was gearing up for cannons, sending out the probes so early. Didn't even get that third. Had Nerchio been a little bit complacent and not put the Overlord over there, he would have probably actually gotten cannons down. This would have been a real pain to clean up. Not impossible, but painful. Going into the actual late game composition, though, the question is what really works for Night End? You know, we saw that last game work kind of as a consequence of Nerchio's actions. I really think that had Nerchio not broken down that third again, Night End probably would have sat there, bulked up, and we would have had a very slow but stale, similar game to map number 1. But Nerchio really forced his hand, and I liked the aggression he showed after his hand was forced. I kind of wish he would have just done that before Nerchio forced his hand, because then Nerchio would have been on the defensive the entire game instead of picking off your third. He would have extended your lead, right? But Night End plays this really passive style that I'm personally not thinking is the greatest.
I think he was gearing up for the all-in off of those 3 bases. I guess it was actually undetermined, the first base snipe, but I don't know, I think he played it out really well. Maybe he could have been more aggressive, but in the end, You know, he had the perfect amount of stalkers to go through even without a third base. And if he had attacked any sooner and lost the third base any sooner, maybe that wouldn't be the case. I don't know.
Well, we never did go over the bets for this. The final coverage of this was with fake imaginary internet points called Bartus. 14,849 were placed on Nurchio, but not so much the underdog with 10,860 on him. So I guess it's a good amount of Protoss support here in the crowd today.
Yeah.
I like to pretend that all the Terrans abstain from these votes, but they're just like, nah, I want Bartus.
Night End is going to go and try and secure a third. It's getting the SimCity set up with these pylons. But we have Roaches, we have Burrow, and Speed. Is Nurchio going to make a decent attempt at canceling this third or even just straight up killing it? Again, you have a bunch of different ways into the base, you know? The main ramp, which Night End is going to get up to the base with, is still kind of far away from the natural, so it's not, you know, totally controlled by him, even if he's outside his natural. You have the ramp that's like the most obvious one for Nurchio to go up into. And then you have the one that's behind the base that cooling towers can stop for a little while, but no one ever uses.
Yeah, I swear to God, they need to put like a giant red flag or make them glow or just something, because nobody... I don't think it's that players actively choose not to use them. Everyone just forgets they exist. And they can have such a... Like, on Echo especially, they obviously have the biggest influence around that third. On this map, perhaps not so much, but... Anyways, Roaches are going to start moving in, and the third base is kind of exposed. Nurchio can kind of cut a straight line here, and he's going to catch the sentries out in the open, or try to at least. They're going to start backing up to a corner, but if too many force fields go down, he can just go towards the third and say, screw it.
Yeah, there's just no good location for the sentries to take a fight, you know? It's just like, you defend one base, but not both.
I mean, the mothership course here, but, you know, this isn't even worth wasting an overcharge, I don't think. Just get some shots off, head back towards the natural.
But what do? You just lost a third. They're droning behind it. So you don't have like a Dark Templar about to take out 20 drones. You just straight up took a big blow and something to help you recover.
Well, force fields are holding for now, but there's really not a lot here for Night End. I don't know how he holds on to this. There's so many Roaches already on the front doors. He's almost out of energy. There's about 4 or 5 force fields that get quick guess going out behind this. More Stalkers warping in, but those lanes are just flooding and flooding and flooding. They're just was rallying units across the map. And it looks like he burrows a couple units to keep him alive too.
This is the game that you show Protoss players, and like you're like, don't pick this map unless you plan like all in or something. It's just you see Night End is thinking, okay, what do I do to save this base? Oh, nothing. Let me just go back and save my natural at least. But now what does he have? He has a lot of gateways. He did throw down like 4 more as the third went down. So it looks like he's gonna just gonna try and do a Blank Stalker all in, but only with +1 weapons. The Forge did die, and if he waits for +2, even if he chronos all of it, it's still gonna delay his attack by way too much, I think. Well, actually, it looks like he's gonna take an expansion. He might still be aggressive, but now trying to like maybe this expansion's better.
This is like leading towards that hive tech for Nurchio. The damage was pretty good, knocking down that third. Just trying to delay and deny and slow down Night End's snowball effect. Big shout out and thank you to Texas93, by the way, reset for 8 months in a row. Welcome back. Force field's gonna go up, and Nurchio can't really push up this ramp. I mean, Guardian Shield's already running. He knows that Night End's ready for this.
But
if he doesn't
force Protoss' hand by going for the Forge and the gateway, you know?
Right, that's what I was thinking. Like, you might want to bait out this force field so that, you know, Night End actually can't respond, but he's actually gonna try and take the fight instead. Comes on the other side. Getting lots of entrances to get past these force fields if you get stuck on one side.
Nurchio could have used the back rocks or the back entrance I was talking about, but even the attackers don't remember that it's back there, really, not until later on in the game. It's not going to happen, but a direct, blunt force kind of way to play won't be so bad either for Nurchio. He's still up by 40 supply. A lot of that is still in army. The upgrade not being here for Night End is just, it's going to like drastically change the way he expects his Blink Stalkers to work.
I mean, he's starting to segment some of the units off, you know, and there's the vulnerability of the Forge, but if this overextends for Night End, again, this ramp is the greatest defensive thing he has going for him. This is the best place to fight in that choke, denies the upgrade, snaps down that Forge.
A couple missed rallies are helping him out. The cannons on the left side are kind of cool. They're going to stop the minimal, like, back attack that is almost sure to happen.
I mean, I feel for Night End. He knows the necessity of having this third. He knows he needs the economy from this. But the more time he just kind of wastes here, and again, it's more time Nurture just sits back at home and does all this. And it's not like he can really push into this right now. But again, this comes down to the composition of you see Lings, you see Hydras, but you don't go for Colossus. You still choose to go for playing Stalkers. And that's fine for now. But Stalkers really are that mid-game unit. They don't really carry you to the late game. And once those Ultras come into play, once those Lings have +2 upgrades, Adrenal Glands even, maybe Fungal Growth and Pliny Claws, this could go to a really gross extent of Zerg abuse.
Well, Night End, he's secured this third base for the past, like, 2 minutes, but it's not been mining. Probes aren't going to get through that army, so it's been kind of useless for now.
It's like the trade embargo from the Federation.
Yes, exactly.
Well, he's going to finally get the transfer off. And Nurture, the other thing, too, we didn't really talk about, he's got a lot of creep spread in the middle of the map. I mean, Iron Fortress is a huge map. Getting creep spread over here is not exactly an easy task, but Stalker's going to catch that Queen, so no more. Ultras are on the way. I'm not sure he'll want to take a fight just yet. Buying time for Ultras kind of guarantees him a good fight. They'll crush the force fields. They'll deal a lot of damage. They'll soak a lot of hits. No, they're not going to have +3 carapace. And no, they're not going to have chitinous plating. But their massive status is what Nurture is looking for most here.
Oh. You said the upgrades won't be ready unless Night End really stalls out for quite a while. But this is the all-in that Night End's doing. He has no tech behind this. He doesn't have High Templars warping into the backside. He hasn't even taken the gas at third.
Hallucinates some Colossus. That's kind of cute, I guess, but that's going to cost him sentries. Lifts up in the Warp Prism. That still might die to the Hydras, though. They're still on creep despite cleaning up that creep spread. Oh, the Warp Prism barely going to get behind this, but even then, the sentry's not really that useful this stage of the game. Hallucinating Immortals might not have been too bad. They do get the hard shield.
Oh, God.
And holds him in place, but the Ultra's on the wrong side of the fight. Choked in behind the Hydras. Oh, derpy, derpy, derp. Big, stupid units that they be can't get into the fights. That was a good fungal, but there's no way to take advantage of it.
Yeah, a little bit. Could use maybe some more Infestors, or we're just going to go into Broodlords to really secure the victory.
Yeah, I think it's the Broodlords that are going to lock this down. Nurture, though, has to make sure he doesn't lose too many Hydras, though. That was the key thing to the Broodlords. The Blink Stalkers were never able to blink underneath them and focus them down like we sometimes see. But I am straight up raging. As a Terran player who hates Zerg, I'm raging at these Ultras right now because they just can't get in the fight. They're busy, oh, what's the corner of the ramp? I don't know what I'm doing.
Doing an Akron impression.
Right? Well, they're like, or whatever.
Exactly. That's what I did.
Yeah, because that's the sound Zergs make. Anyways, he's taking some shots off. Yeah, not a lot of armor upgrades, so the Ultras aren't as durable as they normally would be, and he's going to back away from this. But this might give chase. Blink Stalker's starting to move forward. Not sure if Nurture will turn around and try and take the fight or get everything away.
Yeah, I would say take the attack. I mean, these don't have any sentries. They don't even have +2.
Yeah, there we go. He's waiting for the blink so far in that he couldn't run away. Turns around immediately on a dime, kills a lot of the Stalkers. Here comes some more Lings, though. And if Night End does keep blinking forward like this, especially once Nurture connects to that creep, it's not going to go well for him. And this is his whole army, like you mentioned before, kind of an all-in. +2 weapons only just begins. Like, can we talk about that, too? Like, oh my god, these Stalkers are so weak.
Yeah, they are. Night End does finally invest into those gas geysers at his third base, so maybe looking to go into High Templars, I would guess. But again, finding ourselves in a game that looks very much like Vanai. Broodlord, Ultra, Hydra, a couple of Queens maybe, against Night End's Blink Stalker army with maybe not even High Templars this time. We're almost done. Adrenal Glands is on the way. It's going to be 2-2-1 versus just 1. Night End. Oh my god. You would have to do something amazing here to take this game.
It's still a powerful army, I'll give it that much. There's a couple of Immortals in it, but it's not really Ultras that are the problem anymore. We're coming up with those 3-3 Lings. There's the Broodlords in play. I mean, the Stalkers don't blink underneath this. If they do, it's suicide for them. Maybe segment 5 at a time, I don't know. But right now, despite these Warpins coming, Nurture just has this, like, penultimate Zerg composition. There's no way. There's just no way. Broodlords remain unscathed through this. Nurture even giving the command, out! Leave! This is my domain! Okay, a little BM, but still, GG. Ladies and gentlemen, Nurture will take the series 2-1 and qualify for WCS Season 2.